Hey, everybody. Welcome to the November OCA. We're glad that you're here with us. We haven't done this in a long time. It's been about a year, but we have some special guests with us, and we're excited to be with everyone present online and to hear from someone all the way across the world, which isn't common to do. And so we're glad that you're here with us, and we'll do some introductions here in a little bit. We have our president, Gary Mendez, with us, and then Lou Carbone and Don Danko. And if you're familiar with these guys from the OCA, they're kind of well known, and they're going to have a few things they want to talk to us about. And I'm going to give it up to Gary here in a little bit. I want to give you a little bit of an idea of what you can do here tonight while you're in the stream. There are some door prizes, and you can win a Hygar LED programmable aquarium light. It's 36 watt. It'll be shipped to you anywhere in the 48 states. And all you have to do is in the comment section, either Facebook or YouTube, just put your full name there, and that'll allow us to put you in the raffle. And then there's also some other prizes being given away that you can sign up for a raffle and pay for. And our president, Gary, is going to explain that and give us a few remarks.
All right. Thank you, Byron. And thank you, everyone, for attending. Takes me back a couple of years when we did this routinely, but this hopefully will not be something we're going to do online too often. But I do appreciate everybody getting together. I did want to tell you about the raffle. So we're currently running it. There are tickets available until 7 p.m. this evening. And you can go on to ohiocichlid.com, click on the store button, scroll down, and you'll see November Fish Book Raffle. And you can purchase tickets. So there are you'll have a good chance to win. Our speaker, Michelle Kaiman, he has donated his new book, Freshwater Fishes of Cameroon. It hasn't even been released yet. I think it'll be released in the next week and a half. So we're excited about that. And it will be shipped to 48 contiguous U.S. States. And also want to thank Sabu Yamamoto of Saburai Aquatics for donating 2 bags of fish, Ancestris L519, the Rio Itenez, and that's a beautiful Ancestris, and the Corydoras Equus. And those are available. Again, just go to the website and you can get raffle tickets. I'll add them to the wheel. And at the end of the program, we will spin the wheel and we'll ship those free of cost to you. So with that, I will turn it over to Lou. And please go on, buy tickets, and I will add your name to the wheel.
I would just want to add one thing to what you said, and I don't mind if you do it while I'm talking here. To go to the website, it's just ohiocichlid.com. And you click on store, and then you'll be able to see what to click on to buy the raffle tickets. And like I said, if you want to do it now while I'm talking, I don't mind.
And one other thing I did want to mention, Lou, before. Saburai Aquatics, they will be at the extravaganza. So if you would like him to bring anything in particular, just contact him, and he'll bring it with him in a couple of weeks. I just wanted to mention that for him.
Good thinking. All right, so I'm going to talk a little about the extravaganza. A lot of people that are watching here probably know all about it, and some people maybe you've never heard of it. It is basically a 3-day convention-like affair. We have at the Best Western in Strongsville, Ohio, a southern suburb of Cleveland. There's a bunch of stuff there that you can do for free, and some stuff you have to register for. If you haven't registered, you could still come in and walk the halls, because our people bring fish and equipment and food and everything and sell right out of their hotel room. It's something that our event is known for, and there's a lot of people that do that. So, and there's a bulletin board that shows you who has what and what room they're in if you're looking for something particular. You could also visit our vendor room for free. Many companies that come in there and sell some of their stuff, including Saburai, and that's always a fun place too. The showroom is just going to have big, beautiful cichlids and catfish and little beautiful cichlids and catfish. And it's open Friday evening at 2, and then it closes down at 4 o'clock on Saturday for judging. So it's best to get there sometime Saturday morning. There's also a swap meet that's free and open to the public. It's from 2:30 to 4, and that's mostly hobbyists there that set up tables and sell stuff. And there's going to be about 20 sellers there, I think. But if you register, you can do a whole lot more. You can see our speakers. We have Odd Konings coming in. He comes in every year, and it just gives our event a lot of legitimacy, if you ask me. And he's right now in Africa. He's at Lake Tanganyika, and he's going to be talking about his trip to Lake Tanganyika. We have Michael Tobler coming in from St. Louis, and he's going to be talking about species diversity within a species. We know that we can see different morphs of the same species around, and sometimes even at the same location, individuals can look different. He's going to delve into that. From Germany, we have Frederick Schadel coming. He's giving 2 talks. Freddie's going to talk about Lake Malawi and go around the whole shore of Lake Malawi, talking about the various locations around there, and also give an overview of African catfish. A lot of stuff about species and habitats and evolution, and I can't wait for that one. I think it's going to be very interesting. From Norway, we'll have Håkon Hagensen come. He's also giving 2 talks. Håkon's going to talk about oddball cats and what he meant by that was we all see talks about Cory types and pleco types, and he's going to be talking about all the other stuff that we don't hear about as often. And he's also going to talk about breeding apistogramma. So he's giving 2 talks like that. And then on Friday night, we have Carolyn Estes. Carolyn is from Texas. Wow. And she is a lot of fun. It's not a serious talk, I can tell you. And we told her she can cut loose. And if you know Carolyn, when she cuts loose, it's a lot of fun, and that you don't want kids there. So it's a 10:15 talk, and her title of her talk is True Tales of Fish Lies and Debauchery. But some people are worried that it's going to be too bad. It's not. She knows where to draw the line. But it's that I'm looking for. That's going to be fun. We also have a hospitality room for the people that register, with food and drink in the evenings, and pizza at the awards presentation. Everyone can go to the awards presentation, but if you want pizza, make sure you have your name tag. Yes, Don.
Who's the overall sponsor?
The overall sponsor is our very good friends at Zugari Pets. They've been supporting us for a few years now. The owners are former board members, and they'll have some gifts for everybody. And they'll have a big setup in the vendor room, so you can talk to Andrew there, and that's always a lot of fun too. Thank you for reminding me, Don. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Jim Smith Endowment Fund. This is something we set up in 2003. We had a longtime board member named Jim Smith. Everybody loved Jim, and he was just the nicest guy in the world. And he passed away, and we wanted to do something for him. And a former board member, Dan Woodland, came up with this idea and pushed it, and was the very first director of it. And that's the Jim Smith Endowment Fund. Its purpose is to support research, education, and conservation dealing with cichlids and catfish. So we give grants every year at the extravaganza. We announce them. And so far, we've given away over $30,000. And so this year's will be announced at the awards presentation on November 18th at the extravaganza. Every time you donate in any way to the Ohio Cichlid Association, it goes into that fund. We don't put it in the general fund. We go into the Jim Smith Fund that allows us to give bigger grants than otherwise. Also, the proceeds from tonight's rare fish and book raffle will all be going to the Jim Smith Fund. So just to remind you, raffle tickets for that are available until 7 o'clock, okay, at ohiocichlid.com. And you just go to the website, ohiocichlid.com, click on store, and then click where it says the raffle, and then you can see what's available there. Okay? We good?
We're good.
Good.
So yeah, we have about 51 people online right now watching. So yeah, get a good turnout. So yeah, we'll take it on to the next phase here. So you ready to introduce our speaker, Don?
I am. So tonight we have Michelle Keiman from the Netherlands speaking on the genus Benedicromis, a West African genus. Some absolutely amazingly colorful West African cichlids. Michelle has been to Africa many times. He's been to the Cameroon 13 times, Ghana 4 times, Guinea once, and Angola once. He's also collected extensively in Central America with his very good friend Hans van Heusden. If I pronounced it incorrectly, I'm sorry, Hans. And he has been to Mexico, Panama, and other countries as well. He is an author. He has published 2 books. His first one is on the cichlids of Guinea that came out in 2021. And in about a month or so, his new book on the fishes of Cameroon will come out. He is known to refer to that book as the Cameroon Bible. So he's collaborated with some other very well-known people in the hobby, like our friend Adrian Indermauer. And I was very fortunate to be on the team with Michelle to help edit the cichlid portion of the book. So he's going to bedazzle us tonight with the beauty of West African cichlids, specifically Benedicromis. So I give you Michelle Keiman.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Don, for the proper call out. But I have to correct you. The book will come out in 1.5 weeks from today.
Oh,
So not in a month. 1.5 weeks. It took 2.5 years, but it takes a little bit more than 1.5 weeks, and then it comes out. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Michel Keiman. I'm from the Netherlands. And as Don already told, that I've been to Cameroon 13 times to collect fish, not only cichlids, but mainly cichlids. And during those travels, I, mostly visited the southern part of Cameroon. At the moment, there is a civil war going on in the most western region of Cameroon, so it's off limits at the moment. In that part are also some very nice Benedicromis present. But before I start with the lecture, I would like to introduce and talk a little bit about my book. I take the opportunity to present it here, so some US people who are looking, maybe I can get them enthusiastic about the book. It's coming out in 1.5 weeks. The book took me 2.5 years to start writing, collecting all the pictures, and I had some other authors working on the book as well. Don mentioned Adrian Indermauer, but he was together with Susanna Musilova from Prague doing the part of the lake cichlids, the Baron Bibot and Baron Bermin cichlids, and they also took a part about marmorets. Then I have two Belgian friends who took, well, they had a lot of work, and they gathered all the killies from Cameroon, and they are all in the book. 84 pages on killies alone are in the book. The cichlids are over 242 pages dealing about cichlids, and furthermore, we have Joshua Pickett, who did his part on Polypterus, the big snakefish, who are also appearing in Cameroon. And Jouke van der Zee also took part in the Kili chapter. So I had the luck that I could work with some famous names who joined in the team about the book. It shows a lot of nice pictures. I'm convinced to say that this book is one of a kind. Until now, there is no work which gives such a photographic overview of the fishes from Cameroon. It's not only cichlids and not only killi. We have tetra, we have gobies, we have stingrays, we have numerous genuses in this book, and we have about 821 pictures in the book, 403 species, as you can read over here. It gives a good view how the fishes live. I have a chapter about aquatic plants, a chapter about biotopes. So it's a very, how do you say that? A book with a lot of things for an aquarist, which he can do his, how do you say that in English? Don, can you help me? An aquarist can do take his advantage on the things he can read in this book. On the cichlid parts, I also mentioned for all the species the GPS data, where they were caught, so people can look them up on Google Maps with the GPS data, so they can see exactly and trace it down where they are being caught. So as I say, it's out in a week and a half. The book, by the way, has 464 pages, and the weight of the book is 2.1 kilos. So that is why the shipping costs are more than normal. It's an enormous book. It's about, I think, will be about 3 centimeters thick on paper. It's a hardback. It's a nice book. That's the only thing I want to say. If there are people who are interested, there is a website where you can order it. It's www.freshwaterfishesofcameroon.com. There you can find the information and also how to order it. Okay, well, thank you for this. Then I would like to start on my lecture. As you see, it's November 3rd, and I give this talk on the OCA. And my lecture is about Benitogromus from Cameroon. Benitogromus is a genus which has its appearance in Cameroon, but it also lives in Nigeria and Equatorial Guinea. So, but the majority of the species are found in Cameroon, and I would like to give a brief overview on the species which are living in Cameroon. I will present tonight the first pictures of a new species or two species. The first one you see over here. This is a new species I found on a web collecting tour in September 21. It's a new species which will be described in a couple of months. They are working on it already for several months, but they are now in the end stage of the description, and it will come out in a few months. This is one of the new species from Benitogromus. Another one I will show you later on. First of all, I would like to point out, for those who doesn't know it, where Cameroon lays. On the right side map, you have a view on Western Africa. Here you have Côte d'Ivoire, you have Ghana, you have Togo, you have Benin, and here you have Nigeria. And in this part here, this is Cameroon. This part, the green outlined area, is Cameroon. It is a huge country, and it is a real hotspot if it comes to fish, and not only cichlids, but all kinds of fish. The fish fauna of Western and Central Africa are, well, almost coming together in Cameroon, and it is incredible if you know how many species are appearing in Cameroon. Another map where I would like to point out where the region is where we find Benitogromus. It starts here at the border of Equatorial Guinea. This is the border. Here we have a river called Netem. It is a border river between Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea. In this southern part, so the other side of the border, you will also find Benitogromus. Here in this area, just along the coast, you will find the Benitogromus species. There are numerous river systems, as mentioned here, the Netem River. Here you find the Lobe, the Kienke, Nyong River. This is the Sanaga River. Here you find the Wuri. And here in this particular part, you find Molive area, where we find also Pelvicagromus cribensis molive, very famous fish. Here you have the Mungo River. And in this part here, you find the Njan. This is the border with Nigeria. So this is the region where you find normally Benitogromus. So about 40, 50 kilometers inland, you can find Benitogromus. And the Benitogromus are belonging to the Gromidotilapine cichlid fishes, which are in West and Central Africa. And it represents the most ancient Africa cichlid lineage. And to name a few genera who are into that Gromidotilapine group are Gromidotilapia, Nanogromus, Divandu, Parananogromus, Teleogromus, and of course, Benitogromus. And here you see the distribution of all the Gromidotilapine fishes in West and Central Africa. And Benitogromus is only appearing here in this corner, as I mentioned, in Equatorial Guinea, Cameroon, and into Nigeria. And also on the island of Bioko, there is one species, Benitogromus nigrodosalis, which appear on the island. The genus Benitogromus was erected in 2001 by the Austrian ichthyologist Anton Lamboy. Probably everybody knows him. And in the paper, Anton revised the Gromidotilapia batesi fenlei complex. Those two species were adjusted to the Gromidotilapia genus. And in that paper, he erected a new genus, which was Benitogromus, and he described 3 new species. The genus Benitogromus contains currently 6 valid species, and 2 more species are going to be described very soon. Those 2 species I found during my travels in the last 13 trips. So they will be out in a few months. I will name the currently described species. You have Benitogromus batesi, Benitogromus conjunctus, Benitogromus finlei, which is the type species of the genus. You have Benitogromus nigrodosalis, Benitogromus riomuniensis, and Ufermanni. And the 2 new species, for which I cannot name the name now, are species Bouet and species Ngoina. I will show them later on. So you have at least the luck to see one of the two species in a large amount of pictures I show over here, because I'm very proud of that beautiful fish. Okay, Benitogromus, what are they? They are pair-bonding, mouth-brooding species, of which 5 are ovophilic, plus the new species. So we have, when it's described, 6 species which are ovophilic. Ovophilic means that if a pair breeds, they lay their eggs, they fertilize them, and they, well, almost immediately take the eggs into the mouth to brood them over there. Then we have a larvophilic species for the moment, one species, which is Benitogromus batesi. Larvophilic means that they lay their eggs, fertilize them, which they normally do in a cave area, on the ceiling of a stone or in a cave. They lay their eggs, they fertilize them, they let them hang there for 2 days most of the time. The egg, the fish, is developing in those 2 days, and almost at the end, when it's developed, they chew the larvae out of the eggshell, and at that moment they will take them in the mouth. And that is, for the moment, still the one described species is batesi, who is larvophilic. Both parents at Benitogromus are brooding, so they are biparental mouth brooders, and they all reach a total length between 10 to 13 centimeters. All of the members of this group have following characteristics. Juveniles show a black spot in the soft part of the dorsal fin. Can you see the cursor? I hope so. So here, the juveniles always show a black spot in that part of the soft dorsal fin. Males, adult males especially, usually exhibit dark-edged body scales and small dots or macula on the caudal. You see here all the dots, the dorsal, the caudal fin. And also, but it's not always very good visible, but also in the anal fin. And females always exhibit an iridescent coloration in their dorsal fin. In this particular one, Benitogromus riomonensis, you can see it very, very clearly. A bright iridescent zone, which is really stunning. And that color of the iridescent zone can go from, like here, bluish gold to silver or red, which I will show later on. Within the genus Benitogromus, there are 2 groups. You have the Finlay and the Batesi group. The difference between those groups are very obvious. Members of the Finlay group show horizontal stripes on their body. And members of the Batesi group show vertical bars. You can see a clear difference. At least I do. So I think you guys can do that as well. It's a very clear difference which you always can see and note. But there are more different species present, of which some of them are new to science, according to me. There's also always a dispute with people. They say it's not, and it is, but I will say, well, further investigation will tell us in the future if they are really new. We have some species which are found in Bumniebel, in Mbue, Iloloma, Macondo, and Tangdok. I will show them later on in the presentation. And I think between one of those, or between those 5, there are at least 2 or maybe 3 new species for sure. Here I show you the exact distribution of all the species I have found so far, and I'm convinced there are even more species in Cameroon present. But these are the ones I have found myself, and here you have a clear view on where they live. On the upper left side of the map, you see here that orange part. This is where Benitogromus ufmani lives. It's in the Njan area. And in that same area, you can also find Benitogromus finlayi, which has two distribution areas. Here in this area, at the Nigerian border, and here in the area of Mount Cameroon, there is another distribution area of Benitogromus finlayi. The white area shows the distribution of Benitogromus conjunctus, a very nice species, but this whole area here, which I showed, is a conflict area at the moment. There is a civil war going on for about 4 years or 5 years already now, and there is no solution between the Anglophone and the Francophone area, which is a dispute on money. That's how it is, but it's still going on. So it's almost impossible to get in these areas again as long as the war is continuing, unfortunately. But I have been there several times, so I have caught my fish and took my pictures. So for me, it's not that kind of a problem. Then here in the slopes, on the slopes of Mount Cameroon, we find Benitogromus nigrodorsalis, and we find, at least that's what people say, it is another Benitogromus nigrodorsalis in the area south of Douala, in the Ndonga River area. I will show you later on why I think it isn't a Benitogromus nigrodorsalis. We have the red orange here, area here is the distribution of Benitogromus iloloma, which I will show you also. Then here we have Benitogromus mbue, and we have bue. They are quite near to each other, but they are different. Then we have Benitogromus from Macondo, Benitogromus from Tangdok, and we have Bumyebel. In this area here, there are also some Benitogromus, of which I hope to find some new ones in 2025, my next tour when I go down to Cameroon again. And here in the south, bordering to Equatorial Guinea, we find 3 species. The green area, which is all over here, is from Benitogromus riomuniensis. In the same area where Benito riomuniensis is present, you can also find Benitogromus battesi. And the last one is this little spot. It's actually a bit actually smaller than it is right now, but otherwise you could not see it. This is where we found Benitogromus ngoina. It's a small river system in between 2 larger systems, and it flows into the sea over here at Longi. And this is one of the new species which is going to be described soon. As you can see, it has a large distribution, the genus, and we have many different biotopes where these species is living in. I have some small footage so you can see the difference in the biotopes. You have clear streams. This is Menja River from the slopes of Mount Cameroon. Mount Cameroon is a volcano. Here, the other inlay is the Idu River near the Nigerian border. Both are clear water rivers. This one is the Bue River, which has a lot of sediment in the water. This is a river tributary to the Lobe. It's near Otoakok, where we find Benitogromus battesi. And this is Macondo. Can you imagine that you find fish here, 5 to 10 centimeters of water? We found here Benitogromus specie Macondo. In general, it can be said that they are found in many different types of biotope. Here is an underwater picture of the Idu River, where we find Benitogramus ufermanni. You can see a lot of boulders and some sediment. You find them in large, clear streams where the bottom is covered with sand and stones, but also small streams covered by foliage with the bottom largely covered with leaves, like you can see here. Then I want to show you the Benitogramus in the aquarium and in nature. What is Benitogramus? And I mean, what can you expect from this from the members of this genus? They are all quite easy to care for in an aquarium. They can already be kept in an aquarium or a tank, if some of you say, from a meter long. So it's a fish which you can keep in a smaller tank. They ingest various food types without any problems. They're not picky. They eat, when they're hungry, they eat everything. You can keep them together with aquatic plants. Think of crinum or anubias. It's very easy for them. They don't destroy them like other cichlids from West Africa. Most of the time will do, like Coptodon and Tilapia. They are not aggressive. You can keep them in pairs and even with other tank mates. It is no problem. And most of the species are even quite easy to breed, except for some species which are very difficult to breed, but the majority are quite easy to breed. Furthermore, they have and show stunning colors. I will hopefully, I hope you think about it like I do. I will show you pictures of nice colored fish. All in all, you can say that they are perfect aquarium fish, which can be kept with plants, with other tank mates, in smaller tanks, and they're easy to maintain. So it is a plus, I would say, if you would like to have nice fish from West Africa. Benitogramus, like Pelvicagramus, are nice fish to keep in a tank. I would like to introduce you the so far described species by showing some pictures of them and also showing their biotopes, where I caught them. Here is a Benitogramus batesii from the south of Cameroon. This particular variant is from Nzok River near Ottawa-Cook. And here you see the stream, Ottawa-Cook. It's on the dirt road from Ebolowa to Kribi. I caught this species in 2009 together with Uwe Werner. Maybe some of you guys heard from him. We found this fish over here the first time. Look at this male. Have a close look at all the bloody red dots in the dorsal fin, and also the red and blue stripes and dots in the caudal fin. Very nice fish. And this is the female, which belongs to the male above. A totally different coloration, lots of yellow and silver in the caudal fin and also in the dorsal fin. Very nice fish. This is how a female looks in the aquarium. In my opinion, quite different. This is the breeding coloration. You see, it belongs to the Batesi group because it has the vertical bars on the body. Further south, near the border with Equatorial Guinea, there is a small town which is called Campo. Around Campo, there is a nature reserve. It's quite large nature reserve, which also inhabits bush elephants, gorillas, etc. It's a large reserve with numerous rivers, and one of them this is a picture from September 21 when I was there with a group. You see the rivers are very nice with a lush green area, plenty of anubias you can find in the rivers, and the river carries clear water with a high dissolved oxygen level. As you can see, they come down here, and here we find also Benitogromus batesi. This is a male, sorry, and this is a female. This is taken just after we caught them. This is the same male in the aquarium a few months later, and this is a female. Stunning colors, like, well, it's pinkish, I think they call it pinky, and red in the caudal and dorsal fin, and a lot of blue as well. The male shows a little bit yellow in the dorsal and caudal fin, and here also you see the edged scales, which is typically for males. If you compare it with the female beneath, you can see the clear difference. Every time the same. Iridescent zone, dark edged scales. Another river, also in the Campo Ma'an Nature Reserve, was this stream. The water wasn't that clear, but it had a lot of crinum natans in it, and it has a lot of current. And we were only able to catch one specimen of Benitogromus batesi. But if you compare this one or the one before that, it is totally different again. It has more blue on the body, and this one doesn't have has the dark edged scales, and the red pattern is also different from the other ones. The previous one didn't have any red in the tail fin and in the dorsal and caudal fin, and this one has. And maybe this one is 20 kilometers further away, but it's a totally different fish. But it's also Benitogromus batesi. Then we move on to Benitogromus conjunctus. This species is from the conflict area where the civil war is going on at the moment. And here you can see the clear difference between the female and the male again. The male with all the dots in the caudal fin, the dorsal fin, and also in the anal fin, which are not present at the female. For that, the female has the iridescent zone and also has more coloration. It has a reddish zone in the belly, which is very typical for females. Benitogromus conjunctus lives in the rivers which are flowing into the Mungo River, and this one is the Menja River I showed before. It is a clear water river. It's originating from the slopes from Mount Cameroon, but you can feel that as well when you go in. The water here was 23.4 degrees Celsius. So I can tell you, if you are there in the water for half an hour, you have to go out because you're freezing. Your nuts are falling off if you stay too long in this kind of water. The Menja River has as you can see here, large bushes of Crinum natans, and more upstream we found hundreds of anubias. And in this river we found Benitogromus conjunctus. We also found there Hemichromis cameroonensis, and there was also a Labeo barbus in it. But it's very, very nice river. At least the first years we went there, Afterwards, we found out that it was getting polluted by villages more upstream because people are washing their wash in the water, and which has, as a result, that there was the rivers got slimy, a lot of algae in it, and it wasn't that clear anymore, unfortunately. Here, a picture of a male and, of course, a female with the clear difference between them. And here's some pictures taken in the period it wasn't polluted. You see here a female carrying her brood in the mouth. These are ovophilic Benitogromis. Here's another pair. Here's some underwater footage of that beautiful, beautiful river, Menja River. Then we proceed to Benitogromus finlayi. It has a common name in the aquatic world as Mongo blue. The trade will get those fishes in like Benitogromus Mongo blue, but it should be Benitogromus finlayi. It's a type species of the genus, and there are several color variants from it. And in my opinion, this one is the most beautiful one from Ikiliwindi. I was there in 2006 or 2007 together with Hans van Heusen. It was one of our first trips down there, and we just went into this river. It was the surroundings were lush green. It was in the early morning. You can see it's a little bit cloudy, and the water was, well, a little bit turbid. It was greenish, but we get in the water and we started to, let's say, dipping with our nets, and we found this. I remember this was our first day. The first day I came in Cameroon. My friend arrived 2 days earlier, but it was our first day when we start fishing, and it was in this river where we found this beautiful, beautiful colored species. Lush green, bluish green with dark red and yellow. Very, very nice fish. This is the male again. You see here the dots in the caudal fin, and here at the female, the iridescent zone. Typical marks which you can see the difference between male and female. A little bit north of Ikiliwindi, we find the Menje River. It's a wider river with deeper parts, but also shallower parts where you find Bolbitis and also Crinum. But we also found a Benitogromus finlayi, and as I said, it's about 10 kilometers north of Ikiliwindi, and you find the same species but a totally different coloration. This was almost yellow. It is a female. You can typically see here the iridescent zone, but it doesn't have the bright red coloration as we saw from the variant from the river I just showed. This is the one from Menje River. As I showed on the map before, that the finlayi also appears in the western part of Cameroon, bordering Nigeria. In this case, the Idu River. If you have a close look, this river carries crystal clear water. You can look 10, 20 meters ahead of you and you have a clear view. You can see all fish swimming. And in this river, we found also a Benitogromus finlayi. As you can see here, this is a female, and it had young ones in her mouth. A nice fish. with a nice coloration. In this particular area and in this river, the Idu River, there is something strange going on. There are 3 Benitogromus living together. There is no other river I know so far that inhabits 3 Benitogromus. We have Benitogromus finlay, Benitogromus overmanni, but also Benitogromus nigrodosalis. Unfortunately, I cannot show a picture of these because a friend in Germany has a pair of them, but he is not as good in photographing fish, so otherwise I could have shown them. These are the only 2 Benitogromus nigrodosalis from Idu River. So there are 3 Benitogromus in 1 river living together. This is the Benitogromus nigrodosalis, which I just mentioned, but this is from Moliva River. Nigrodosalis means black dorsal fin. As you can see clearly, this is what they are named after, the black in the dorsal fin. Here you see the male in the back. Female has a bright, well, what is this? Red, pinkish coloration in the belly, with nice green and blue, and even some white and silvery in the dorsal fin. And this is where they live in. This is Moliva River with a high current area. You have in this river parts where it's very, very moderate current, but this part it was really high current. And this is where Benitogromus nigrodosalis lives together with Pelvicagromus cribensis from Moliva. This is a picture underwater taken in Moliva River, so you have an idea how their habitat looks like. You can see there is a lot of current, high oxygen dissolve, a high oxygen level, I mean, and lots of algae growing on the stones because the water level is not that high, maybe 40, sometimes 50 centimeters, sometimes even less. But here is where they live in. And we always try to escape our tanks, but sometimes it's easy to just throw some sand and some rocks and some wood in it, and that's it. That's like in nature. Here are some more pictures of the Benitogromus nigrodosalis from Moliva River. They are described from this area. So these are the typical nigrodosalis. As I mentioned earlier at the map, there is another location, another river system where I don't know who mentioned those fishes like Benitogromus nigrodosalis, but in my opinion, they are different. This is the one, as I say, nigrodosalis from Molive. And now we go to the system from the Donga and Mbongo River, where there is another Benitogromus, which are also named Benitogromus nigrodosalis. But if I look at this fish, it doesn't have a black dorsal fin. Maybe I'm blind, but this is what they also called nigrodosalis from the Donga River. This is a female from that same river. It shows a little bit of black, but that's not untypical for Benitogromus. But it has red, really red stripes in the dorsal fin, which is uncommon for the nigrodosalis from Donga River, from Moliva River. Here you see a pair. Here's the male with the blue and also some dark stripes. But have a look at the female again. Big red stripes, very uncommon for nigrodosalis. So maybe in the future, if there is some more research on these fish, it turns out that this is not nigrodosalis as they are named now, but maybe a new species. Benitogromus riomuniensis, maybe one of the most colorful ones, and also there are so many different color variants of this species, and I will show you a number of them. This one is from Campo River, very nice. As you can see, some gold, some blue, some green, some pink in the iridescent zone of the female. And this is a picture of a biotope of where I found Benitogromus riomuniensis. It is maybe an hour away from the city called Kribi in the rainforest. It's near Bidou. And this is a river which has maybe 10, 15 centimeters water. It was dry season, February. Very nice area. And we found this Benitogromus riomuniensis over here, together with Pelvicagromus scribensis, by the way. On top, the male, and clearly the female on the bottom with the iridescent zones again. You can see bright yellow, orange even. These are from Bidou, and here are some more variants. This one is from the Zok River. This one is from the Tem. And there's another morph or variant from the Tem. As you can see, there are many, many different color variants from Benitogromus riomuniensis, and these are very colorful. But these are also tricky to breed. These are one of the not easy to breed Benitogromus. I had many problems let them breed. So this is a really a hard one. Here's some pictures of a Bidou pair laying eggs. And there is some difference in how the Benitogromus lay their eggs and take the eggs in their mouth. There are some of them who deposit 8 to 10 eggs, fertilize them, take them in their mouth, then start over 8 or 10, fertilize them, take them in the mouth. This Benitogromus riomuniensis from Bidou lay a clutch. They all lay their eggs, fertilize them, and then they start taking them in their mouth. Very nice fish. Another nice and colorful fish is Benitogromus ufumani from Bidou River. These are from the most western distribution area near the Nigerian border, which I just showed. A very colorful fish, nice yellow, orange, depending on which river they are caught. This one was from Bidou, very dark yellow, almost ochre yellow, with green and bluish colors in their dorsal fin. This is a male, as you can see on all the different dots in the dorsal, caudal, and anal fin. Here another view on Bidou River, and you can see, you can look into the river. It's clear. It's so nice to snorkel down there. The water was really nice. I think Bidou was maybe 25 degrees or something like that. It's convenient. This is an underwater picture of Benitogromus riomuniensis, a female. You can see the leaves, rocks. This is it. This is their biotope. They find some caves and they can hide if they have to flee. A nice male and a nice female. You can see the clear difference again with all the dots and the dark edged scales. And here the female also had a little bit, but not as much as the male has. But you can see the clear difference. All the Benitogromus females have the iridescent zone in the dorsal fin and also in their caudal fin. What a stunning fish is this. What a color. Just great. And these were the so far described species. Now I would like to introduce the new Benito variants and maybe new species, of which 2 are for sure new species because they are going to be described very soon. We have the Bue, Bumyebel, Iloloma, Macondo, Mbue, Goina, and Tangdok. And more variants are likely to be found in the near future, I think, because there is still a lot to discover in Cameroon. And I just organized a new WEC collecting tour, as I named them since 2015. And we go for the quest of new Benitogromus. So let's see if we can find some new ones in 2025. This is one of the new to be described species. It's Benitogromus from Boué River, and it will be described very soon. Look at the females. Beautiful females. This is a female carrying eggs, and this is the neutral coloration. But what a stunning fish. I have to say, maybe there are people who are not with me in this one. I think there is not only the Benitogromus batesi group and Finlay group, but I think that within the batesi group, because these ones also have the vertical striping, there is another group. So within the batesi group, there might be another group which has smaller fishes, because these, the very first time we caught them together, I caught these with Uwe Werner in 2009, I believe. We call them since then the stretched, because they are very stretched and they stay very small in compare with other Benitogromus. And later on, we found more smaller Benitogromus. So, and I hope that they are in how do you say that, in investigation right now, that it turns out that there is maybe a really another group of smaller Benitogromus, because there are more like these. This is the Boué, which will be described soon. This one is from Bumyebel. This one is known for a long time already. It was found by Horst and Linke, I believe, in the late 80s. They found these in the area of Ezeka. Found in a tributary which is finally flowing into the Kelle River, and that one flows into Nyong. And this one is also a smaller Benitogromus. This one is species Bumyebel. This is Benitogromus species Iloloma, which I found also together with my friend Uwe Werner in 2013 or something like that. Also staying smaller, but it also has this, the striping in the, at least the females have the striping in the dorsal fin and in the caudal fin, like we see at Boué. So maybe this is also a new one, but it's also in the Batesi group because it has the vertical striping, but research will find out if it is also new. Benitogromus species Iloloma. Then we have a fish from the little stream I showed before, from Macondo, where it has in the dry season 5 to 10 centimeters water. This is also a very nice Benitogromus. On the left side here you find a male, which has a lot of signs that it could be a Batesi, because they are getting larger than the ones I showed before, and it has also that red dot pattern in the dorsal and caudal fin. These are females. These are actually the same females, but this one is a younger at a younger stage. On top is in an older stage, but they have a stunning pattern in their caudal fin. Of well, sometimes pink and sometimes silvery coloration, but a very, very nice fish from Macondo. Then another morph variant is the one from Mbue. Mbue, also a smaller type, also has the striping in the dorsal fin, but it has no striping in the caudal fin. And that's typical because the ones from Bue has striping in the caudal fin. So it's different. Although it looks pretty much the same, but it's different if it comes to striping and coloration. And the one I'm the most proud of is this one. It's Benitogromus. We call them for the moment red eye Ngoina. None of all the so far known Benitogromus has these characters. They has a red iris. Males get a red, I believe you call it a lob. It's it's coming from behind the gill plate. It's a red. I really don't know how to say it, but it has a red lob coming out, and this is only at males. This is a male of the red eye Ngoina, and this is a female. Here you see female as well. If you look closely, you can see a difference between male and female as well. Have a look at the mid-lateral line. The female has a pattern of irregular red dots on the mid-lateral line. And it also has red spots on the gill plate, which are not present at the male. Only the females has this. But also, of course, the red iris and the nice colored iridescent zone. But also here you can see some red in the dorsal, of some black in the dorsal fin. Sorry. These are the first. You guys are the first that I show these pictures to. This is. They will also be presented in the new book. It's a very, very nice fish. They spawned at my place 3 or 4 times already, but so far they not succeeded to carry it through. Unluckily, because at this moment I have 6 species of them, and a friend in Sweden also has 6 or 7. So there are not many, and the area where we caught them is very hard to reach. But it's a very nice fish, and it will be described soon. For the moment, it is still Benitogromus species red eye Ngoina. And then we have the last one I would like to show you is a Benitogromus from a tributary which flows into the Nyong, and it's Benitogromus Tangdok. We caught this one in 2017, I believe. Also different in coloration. It has orange, and here you see again typically the red striping in the dorsal fin, and also some striping in the caudal fin. This might also be a new species, but for this one also research has to find out if it is really a new species. There are just, for the moment, 2 pairs in Germany, which we caught last year in February when we visited the river again. It was almost dried up, so there was no fish. This is a young one from the Benitogromus Tangdok. And these are the last pictures I show you if it comes to the Benitogromus lecture. I hope you get enthusiastic about this genus because of the nice colors. They are not getting too big. They are quite easy to maintain in or to keep in a tank. You can breed them. They leave your plants alone. They feed easily. I don't know if they are available in the US. In Europe, they are sometimes available amongst hobbyists. And the future will learn us if there are more new Benitogrammers from Cameroon. And I would like to end with this picture. It is a late afternoon picture made in June forest deep in the south of Cameroon. As you can see, it's tropical rainforest, and it always reminds me how beautiful this country is. And I would like to thank you very much for your attention. If there are any questions, I think you can ask them. I don't know how it works, but maybe Don or some other guys from the crew can explain that. If there are any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask them or write them down.
Well, let's have a round of applause for Michelle. Very, very well done. At least in the application I'm looking at, you can type in your questions. There's a tab to post a comment. I do see there's one.
Yep, and I can show it if you you have a good question. I'll put it like this here.
Oh,
it shows
good.
the question right there like that. So this is just one I picked out at random, but feel free to add more questions on Facebook or YouTube, and we can click on it and make it so that Michelle can see it, and we can hopefully get your question answered.
So there it is. Is there a theory or understanding why the coloration of fish drastically change from the wild to the aquariums, even when it is the same exact fish?
No, well, sometimes it can depends on water measurements, also the parameters. Can also be the food, because they get different food than they have in nature, of course. But I don't think there is any research done on this matter so far.
Well, in your book, I recall the one that's coming out that each of the species has a recommended water parameter
Yes.
set for what's found in the wild and what you recommend in the aquarium, as well as diet, right?
Yeah, that's true. It will be dealt in the book. In general, you can say that because of the large range they are, the large distribution range they are in, they are living in water with a temperature from, let's say, 23 degrees up to 27 degrees, and a pH from, let's say, 4.5, 5 to 7, 8. And the conductivity, and here it is, the conductivity, I measured conductivities of 23 up to 279. So that is a big range. And all in all, I think the water parameters also have to do with how they color up, and food, of course.
Well, Byron, I don't know if you're seeing more questions there, but I do have a question for you. You have also shared a lot of information about West African cichlids, at least in Cichlid News and other publications, right? You want to tell us about some of those?
Yeah, what do you want to know?
How many? Where can people find your articles to learn more about these fish in addition to your book?
Okay, well, there is on Facebook, I have a group called the WAC group, West African Cichlids group. There is another group who also used the West African Cichlids group, but it is the WAC group where you have to look for. And we have about 1,700 members worldwide, and it only deals about West and Central African cichlids, but not only cichlids, also non-cichlids. We have killies on it, we have catfish on it, but it all has to do with the biotopes for the West and Central African cichlids. And there they can become a member, and you will see nice pictures, good information, what is very important nowadays. and there are people on it who give first-hand information. I mean, people who travel to the areas, and that is good information. You have a lot of Facebook groups who think they should also take care of this kind of fish, but I call them also that they are sharing groups. You know what I mean? They share everything from everybody. At the WEC group, you find real first-hand information, which is very important. You can approach those people who are on the group. You can ask your questions. We have a special Facebook page where you can look for fish. And furthermore, I write articles in, well, let's say the Dutch Cichlid Association. In the US, I write nowadays at Cichlid News. I do practical fish keeping in England. I do Italian Cichlid Association. The Nordic Cichlid Association always get articles for me as well. So I spread my news around.
Very good. There's another question here. I keep Benedicromus nigra dorsalis bomenko. Have you ever collected them, or are you familiar with them? That's from Stephen Stapleton.
I never heard of that location. Never. Bomenko. I never heard of that location. And I saw quite a number, but I never saw this one.
Okay, there's a question from another Cichlid News author, Ania Perambelli from Italy, I believe. Yes. You recommend keeping bonitos with Pelvicachromis cribensis in a tank. I guess, do you recommend keeping them?
No. If Ania thinks that I say you should take them or keep them together, no, I would not do that, because Pelvicachromis are even smaller than Benitochromis, and they cannot be take any stress because they are quite fragile, I think. But you can keep Benitochromis with other fishes, like small copterons or whatever. They are, and that is what you also can find in my book. I have to come back to my book again. But sorry, but but in the book you can also read very properly what other fishes you find in that river. So if you want to create a biotope tank, you can see very well what other fishes can be found in that river where I found this particular fish you are looking for. So you can make your own biotope, which doesn't mean that you can put all fish together. Right? I mean, Benitochromis, for instance, are still fish who can eat a small kiwi, something like that. But you can create your own biotope by reading properly in the book what kind of fish are also appearing in that river. And that is only because I visited all those rivers and then find out what's in it. And that's what I wrote down in the book. So you can create your own perfect biotope.
So there's a question from Phil Reedy. Did you notice other cichlid species competing for the same areas in the streams and rivers?
No. If it compares, if he wants to point out Benitochromis, no. I saw Benitochromis together with Pelvicachromis, but you cannot compare a natural biotope with a tank biotope. You know, it's always limited to space. If you have a really large tank, you can get more shelter places, and people can hide or they can flee if they want. But in nature, everything lives together, and there is no problem. No problem. For instance, I found Benitogromus in Moliva River together with Hemigromus cameroonensis, and they live together very well.
Oh, we have a question from Alex. If I understand this right, he's from Norway. Great presentation. Are you planning to give a lecture on Parananochromis to the OCA? No.
He means virtual or what?
I don't know. Well, what do you plan? Anything yet?
Well, no. Well, I have a lecture a weekend next April in Sweden. I don't know if he's pointing out like that, but no, I'm not actually planning a lecture on Parananochromis for the moment. I'm not giving that many lectures, to be honest. I don't have that much time.
Other questions, Byron?
I see a question by Stephen Stapleton. Do you think they could be kept with Culotilapia yoka? I think they could, but they are from two different ranges. I mean, Culotilapia yoka is from the most western part of the Western Africa, and Benitogromus is almost on the edge of the eastern part of its distribution. I mean, they can kept together, but I normally prefer to do only biotope. So they are not belonging together. I would not do it, but you can keep them because Culotilapia yoka is very harmful. It's a very peaceful fish as well.
So where in Sweden are you talking?
Yeah, Malmö. Malmö. I'm in Stockholm. Yeah, okay. I will give him the date where it is. The 12th till the 14th of April. I will be in Malmö together with Uwe Werner.
All right. Well, I don't see any other questions. Do you have any more questions for him, Don? Oh, Lou does. Lou's raising his hand. I'll add him to the stage.
That was wonderful, Michelle. That was really, the photography was incredible.
You should buy the book, Lou.
I think there's a common theme here that we're hearing. Something about buying a book.
You started to answer it somewhat. If you keep it in an aquarium and your water's harder than what they're used to, do they still breed? And if they breed, do they breed successfully, have a good sex ratio between in the fry, or is that a problem?
It is a problem, depending on where this fish actually comes from. If you take Benitogromus nigrodosalis or the one from Finlay from the Kumba area, they have a pH of 7, 8, and a conductivity very high. I found Finlay in a conductivity of 279. It's incredible.
Wow.
That is, but they appear in rivers which are coming down. Those rivers originate on the slopes of Mount Cameroon. You know, they flow over rocks, and there you get it.
Thank you.
So, how many aquariums do you keep?
Oh God. I have to count. I have 3 tanks of 3 meter. I have one of 2.20 m, 3 of 2 meter, and a bunch of small ones from 1 meter to 80 centimeters. So I have a few. But it's always, if you travel and catch your own fish, you never have enough tanks. So sometimes you have to just stop. No, really, yeah, you never have enough tanks.
Yep,
I think you guys know that.
Yeah,
you do.
Yes.
our wives know that.
Yeah.
Some of our wives even have fish tanks themselves.
Yeah.
All
So are
right.
we more questions? Anything we want to talk about next, or do we want to go to the door prize?
How many visitors do we have? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, we probably got up around 70. And they say usually per person watching, there's about 1.5 people watching. So it could be close to 100 people probably watching us.
Okay.
I think we decided we were talking about doing the raffle first.
Okay,
If Gary's
we
ready.
can do that. I'll add
Yep.
Gary to the screen. And then
All
if
right.
you'll add it.
I'll add the. Let me share my screen.
Don, you might have to take over here in about 5 minutes, just letting you know, and then I'll be back.
Okay.
Score's 18-17. So yeah.
Oh, wow.
All right. I think I see Gary. There we go.
Okay. Well, I guess I will start with the Equus, if we're ready for that.
Looks like it.
We'll go.
Is it spinning?
I think so. I think it's just choppy on his end. It'll probably display
Right.
the winner here in a little bit. I think.
Which one is it, Gary? They're all moving.
Oh, we got an answer winner here. Daniel Cohen.
Daniel Cohen. This is for the Equus, for the Corridors Equus.
All right.
All right, Daniel.
The next
As long as we get a winner, it
buddy.
doesn't matter how
For-
pretty it is.
Michelle. Hey, congratulations. So the next one is for Michelle's book. We'll go ahead and
And
spin that.
do we need these people to stay on to get their?
We'll have to have them reach out to us through the OCA.
Okay.
No, I've got their information.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Which one, right or left?
The one on the right.
All right. Who do we got here? Should display.
CVD.
EVD. Wow, all the way
Very
from
good.
St. Louis.
Yep. Okay, and the last one is for the Ancestris L519.
And that one's got a lot of names.
Oh, oh.
It's just slowly going.
I thought Hillary was going to win there for a second, but it's Heath.
All right.
Wow. Cincinnati, I think.
No, he's up my way here. He's
Oh, is he?
5 minutes or so from me. Heath.
Ah,
Congratulations, Heath.
Congratulations. And that does it for the raffle. So congratulations, everyone.
Good job, Gary.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to get our door prize up real quick. There you guys see it. Every name's been added that posted. This is for the aquarium light. And I will spin that right now.
the light is from Higger Aquatics, I believe.
Tiger, yes.
Does he need a fish light?
He needs a new light.
Gosh.
Congrats, Josh.
Wow.
Well, there we have it. That would be all our prizes and phenomenal presentation, Michelle. Do you guys have anything else you want to add? Any closing remarks?
Register for the extravaganza and show up.
Hope
Oh,
to
yeah.
see you there.
It's the highlight of the year. Always remember this time of year around Thanksgiving. So
You'll
Yeah,
see
we
me
look-
flying by from time to time, so stop me and say hi.
Well, what's the next, besides the extravaganza, is there another meeting after that? Like, when will people get back together for the OCA, like regular meetings?
I'm on it. We have the Christmas meeting, which is basically members getting together and sharing food. As far as speakers go, we have something pretty exciting coming up in January that I haven't told anybody yet, I don't think. But we have Joe Cutler coming. And Joe Cutler, you know Joe?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he spoke for us a long time ago, and since then, and then he won a Jim Smith Award for his one of his river trips. The first one, not the Zambezi, but the can't think of the name of it right now. But he transected the whole river. So I'm pretty excited about that in January. So make plans to come to Middleburg Heights in January to hear Joe Cutler. Eric Bodrock in February. Excellent catfish speaker.
Yep.
Guy named Ben Okert in March. It's new to us. He runs a website that does a lot with fish, and I'll get you more information on him. And April 5th, Jim Cummings. Jim Cummings is going to be here, so he's always good. So yeah, January 5th, Joe Cutler, good one to make a trip to Cleveland for.
Cool. Sounds like a great lineup. Well, Michelle, I'm sure you're getting tired. It's what is it? 1 o'clock your time now?
12:30.
12:30 a.m. All right. Well, we're not going to keep you up too late, and well, we already did, but we really appreciate you taking time to give this amazing presentation.
I hope you liked it.
Oh yeah, it was phenomenal. Could tell by the response online, everyone loved it. And this can be viewed again on YouTube. If you wanted to see it, it's usually stored there, or we'll talk afterwards and see what you want us to do with it. And we are just thankful that everyone tuned in, all basically 70 viewers, and then whoever's watching in the same household at the same time. So thanks for coming out. And Lou, you got one last thing?
Yeah, one more thing to add. We have some sponsorship opportunities for the extravaganza. If anyone wants to help us out and sponsor some show classes or a speaker or a venue room, just go to the ohiocichlid.com website and click on sponsorship, the sponsorship button. So that would be nice if we can get a few more from our online listeners.
Well, thanks, Lou. Appreciate that. That's a great addition to help the extravaganza be successful. And we will see you guys in mid-November in Strongsville, Ohio for the extravaganza next. All right, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, all. Thanks, Michelle.
Bye-bye.
Talk soon.
Talk to you soon, Don. Bye.